Part 34. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 331. 331 Chapter 331 begins to do things. Chapter 331 begins to do things. With the green light of the relevant departments, the procedures for the approval of new products of the Hongxing Group have been completed at an ultra-fast speed. And for some consideration, the National Academy of Sciences and the Red Letter Group quickly announced that China has mastered a complete operational virtual projection that can be applied to commercial products. Hongxing Group will launch a new generation of intelligent products without physical screens, allowing smart products with light and shadow interaction to face the market. The statement also contains relevant technical explanations and technical effects display diagrams. In the display diagram, the user can perform the barrier-free operation of the projected light and shadow. The various physical screens that you are familiar with disappeared. Instead, you can change the virtual operation interface of plane or volume, area, or volume at will. As soon as this news came out, it immediately spread throughout the country, and all the media were reprinted and commented. People's Daily News. China has developed a large core science and technology, which can operate virtual projection. New Wolf Science and Technology News. After 6G communication, go to the screen smart product era. Tencent Push, virtual projection can be operated manually. The Red Letter Group United Nations Academy of Sciences released the latest science and technology. Thousands of hotspots. Operational virtual projection technology is available to shock the world. Similar messages can be seen on the large and small media. The Chinese people who saw this news were also pleasantly surprised. Great, I didn't expect the virtual projection to come out soon, I can operate it. Before the things in science fiction movies are becoming reality, the times are developing too fast, playing call for the red letter. What will the computer and mobile phone become like after that? There is no display. When is Red Letter a new product? Buy it and buy it? Ha ha ha, our country also has the technology of such a fork, the world is leading. I don't understand, but it looks very powerful. Many people still don't understand the meaning behind this technology, and experts have analyzed it soon. The operational virtual projection technology is very significant, and its emergence represents a revolution in information media. Every aspect of contemporary people's lives requires a variety of displays, ranging from watches, mobile phones, car displays, computers, to televisions, advertising screens, movie screens, and even publicity screens in public facilities, street signs and more. When operational virtual projections appear, these screens can be replaced with the latest technology. Removing heavy screens may require a small smart projection instrument to replace their functions, saving space and improving efficiency in the hospital. Military and scientific research are of great significance. Besides, the operational virtual projection will also bring a more convenient and intelligent experience to our lives. Maybe one day in the future, you can use your pen to write assignments, build work models, design advertisements, or play games, and project communication with friends in the distance. After reading the introduction, many netizens have a preliminary understanding of this technology. They have expressed their praise and marvel. Those big companies saw this news and the reaction was even stronger. RICE's R&D department, Tian Xiangshan, is still working with the team to discuss the display. Tian Xiangshan emphasized, we must study our own display screen and get rid of dependence on other companies. At present, the display screens used by domestic smart products are mostly products from the island countries, Korea, and the display suppliers of Beidou. The screen designed and produced by itself is the same as other core science and technology, which is still worse than the foreign one. Tianzong, the latest news, said the assistant in a hurry. Look, Red Letter has created a major event. Tian Xiangshan read the latest news and couldn't help but pat the table. This Red Letter, how do you engage in major events every day? Isn't their research center an alien research base? Tianzong, what's wrong? asked the rest of the research team. Red Letter has developed an operational virtual projection technology. They want to make smart products go to the screen, Tian Xiangshan loudly said. IX has a well-prepared high-level executive cannot help but shouted, they are still studying the technology of the independent screen, people have realized the virtual projection operation, no physical screen. This gap is too big. This is a perverted company, an old professor spit out. Great change, Tian Xiangshan took a deep breath and said, the big change in smart products, hurry. What are you doing? The crowd is puzzled. Contact Red Letter. When Hua was a company, when Xi Zhijao saw the report, he was very worried. What he is worried about is that the technology of Red Letter seems to be getting farther and farther away. With this technology, the competitiveness of Red Letter products will be upgraded again, which will inevitably affect their market. The good news is that with this killer, science and technology abroad will definitely feel the crisis. In particular, the United States is currently sanctioning China's science and technology companies. Now China's science and technology companies are also leading the way with them. What are they going to impose sanctions? Lenovo Group, Jingdong, thousands of degrees, almost all large companies are researching and discussing this technology, and are also inquiring about relevant departments and the Red Letter Group. Science and technology are evolving rapidly, and if they are not eliminated by the times, they must follow the cutting-edge technology. The Red Letter Group also announced that it is establishing a new Hongxin electronics factory to produce MSI projection accessories. In the future, this accessory is like a CPU or battery and can be installed inside any smart product. And the world, there is only one factory that can sell such accessories, currently only one of the Red Letter Group. The news of this technology has caused various reactions in the country. In foreign countries, many countries and science and technology companies have felt a strong crisis. Sharp Island, a world-class electronics and electronics company, is one of the world's largest screen suppliers. As early as the virtual projection appeared, they worked with the science and technology company to develop a projection device that was inferior to the Red Letter Group. But they haven't figured out this technology yet, and China has actually heard the news of virtual projection technology. This makes Sharp's top management feel the crisis is imminent. Perhaps in the near future, the entire physical display industry will start to decline, and all this is because of the company called Red Letter in China. In addition to Sharp, Samsung and LG of Korea are also screen suppliers for most smart products in the world. It is said that when this news came out, Samsung's president immediately returned from the United States to the Korean headquarters meeting, and LG was also holding an emergency meeting. And the most nervous, that is, the country with the highest number of science and technology companies, the United States. End of this chapter. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 332. 332 Chapter 332 Internal Disintegration. Chapter 332 Internal Disintegration. Apple's spaceship headquarters. Coco can't remember this is the first few headquarters because of the action of Red Letter. Every time, it is not good news for them. This time is the same, but more serious than ever. Think about it, in the days that followed, on the other side of the ocean, in a country with a population of more than 1 billion, all smart products have been updated from physical screens to virtual operating screens, and we are still using traditional vintage screen. There is no doubt that we will be abandoned by users all over the world, Coco said with a heavy heart. Maybe this is just a means of propaganda, someone said. It's all today, I still expect the opponent to have nothing. Ku can be angry, his hands on the table, and the high-level lesson he just said, I heard from the smart chip of Red Letter. This is the saying. The later Red Letter operation system, smart voice, HX, glass, 6G network, people have not believed, but the result is that our market in China and the island countries and other countries are gradually eroded, The company's stock fell, the company annual turnover decreased by 20% more than 5. Do you still believe in this kind of ghost? He shouted, and the other high-level officials were silent. At this time, I also hope that the other party is hype, it is simply stupid. We can't sit still, a senior said solemnly, we should mainly seek cooperation, introduce operational virtual projection equipment, and join this latest accessory in our smart products. You want to let Red Letter enter the North American market. Do you want the North American market to be dominated by Red Letter products like the Chinese market? A white voice, he is one of the heads of Apple's North American market. Robert, this is an inevitable choice even without us, there will be other companies using this accessory, then we will lose competitiveness in the global market. After some controversy, they finally got a helpless fact. It is necessary to cooperate with Red Letter. This is like the fact that Chinese companies must use their products in order to have market competitiveness. Now this role play is reversed. What if Red Letter is not willing to sell such accessories to the US market? Someone asked. So we must also change our attitude, Coco sighed. The name of the Apple company is added to the joint application for lifting the trade sanctions against the China science and technology industry. The US Federal Communications Commission is conducting a vote. The proposal for this vote was to apply to the Ministry of Commerce for contact with some of China's science and technology companies, such as the market ban on communication companies such as Huayuan and Zhongxing, and to reduce the electronic product tax of Huaxia enterprises. If it were 6 months ago, such a proposal would not have appeared at the FCC's meeting table, and even the trash can would not exist, because no one would mention it. However, since the emergence of a science and technology company called Red Letter in China, all this has changed. First, the Federal Communications Commission took the initiative to contact the sales ban on Red Letter, but did not welcome the results they wanted. After the implementation of the plan of the Sky Network by Red Letter, there are more and more different voices in the Federal Communications Commission. Some representatives began to think that they need to trade fair with Huaxia's enterprises and introduce Huaxia's technology and products. Today, similar voices are getting bigger and bigger, and the Federal Communications Commission has to vote, and then apply to the US Business Department. Chairman of the committee, Rees, sits at the chief and announces, now start voting on the proposal. In front of each member, there are voting documents and they need to vote in public. Soon, there were members of the committee who wrote their own opinions. It is not necessary to see that Rees knows that he chose to agree, that is, to support the development of the US market to Huaxia science and technology. Behind this committee is the Verizon telecommunications company in the United States. Because of the 6G communication network, those telecom companies have no less protests. They have long wanted to access China's 6G communication technology. Each member wrote their own opinions, and Rees looked at 2 of them. One of them is behind Qualcomm, and the other is related to Apple. They were quite resistant to Chinese products, especially Red Letter. Nowadays, they actually wrote the consent option. The 2 major companies actually changed their positions at the same time, and their positions changed from resistance to acceptance. This makes Lee Si stunned. It seems that the communication industry has really changed. And Rees himself wrote the result of the consent vote. He deeply knows that at this time, if the US Federal Communications Commission insists on supporting the Ministry of Commerce again, I am afraid that it will take 2 years, and the entire US communications industry will be overtaken by China. The publicly voted vote ended and the results were placed before Lee Si. The members of the committee also quietly awaited the results of the proposal. Last year, they passed the information security blockade vote on the Red Letter chip, and also lifted the market blockade on the Red Letter. The result of the voting, 3 people abstained, the rest agreed, the proposal passed. Lee Si announced, now, we will formally apply to the National Assembly in the name of the US Federal Communications Commission to amend the rigorous review of Huaxia communications related companies and 15 related regulations such as electronic product tax. The latest news from the Washington Post, Huaxia announced the development of operational virtual projection technology, which will launch a new generation of solid screen intelligent products. More than 100 companies in China have jointly applied to the National Assembly for reconsideration of China's trade measures. AOL, Google President, the trend of economic globalization is unstoppable, and the Ministry of Commerce should carefully consider trade with China. Former world richest man Bill Gates also issued a statement in the media: the United States should be an open and free country with science and technology to maintain the leading position of the national science and technology and enterprises. We must accept the advanced technology of other countries. Many people have come out to speak, and even some celebrities have publicly screamed that the decision of the US Department of Commerce is a bunch of shit. The reason is very simple, starting with the selection of China's operational virtual projection technology. The US and even the world's science and technology stocks have started a new round of decline. They have finally made investors have some confidence in the US science and technology companies. As a result, the stock price has fallen even more. A large amount of funds were withdrawn from the US capital market and invested in China's science and technology enterprises. This is a very heavy blow to the US economy. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 333. 333 Chapter 333 They are jealous. Chapter 333 They are jealous. The White House, the office of the president, was angry. Shit, look at these applications, these idiots actually question my decision. The incumbent president is not a good-tempered person. He once screamed in public and even shot people. What's more, today's business is indeed awful, and the staff who heard his boos were not surprised. Federal Communications Commission, New York Business Office, Federal Trade Organization. Look, now they actually ask us to change our trade strategy with China. This is a joke. Mr. President's Spitstar shot on the document. Next to him, the chief of the staff waited patiently for him to vent. After the completion of the ceremony, the chief of staff was euphemistically reminded, most of the members of Congress have proposed to modify the previous trade strategy with China and demand the introduction of the science and technology and products of Huaxia Enterprise. The same number of people who support you have also made the same request. These days their stocks have shrunk and they have suffered heavy losses. He refers to the big capitalists behind Mr. President, the changes in the science and technology market, which forced them to express their latest position to the president. Those stupid guys will definitely laugh at me in this endless way. Mr. President's anger is still unabated. There are people from the Democratic Party who are waiting to see my joke. Oh, they will say, look, our president has done another wrong major event, making the country's economic situation worse, so everyone should look forward to the new president. The chief servant said helplessly, Mr. President, if we don't do this, the consequences will be more serious at that time. What you said may become a reality. Pa, Mr. President slaps on the table. If the group of the CIA can be useful, we don't have to be so passive. It's been a year and 4 months. They got all the news from the red letter. They didn't get anything. Tell them, if they don't get any useful news, let them all get out. Half a day later, the White House, the office of the Ministry of Commerce, the Minister of Commerce was gloomy. Just now he had a lot of approval in the president's office, and now he has to face a headache and a shame. He needs to revise trade measures against China to ensure the introduction of China's science and technology while minimizing the impact on the US economy. Old bastard, the Secretary of Commerce secretly snarled. The shameful things are handed over to me. This is the big black pot. No matter how he declares this matter, it is estimated that many people will hate it and swear by it. I want to know with my toes. Once the trade strategy with China changes, the profits of American companies will be greatly reduced. Not only that, China's low price, cost-effective products once entered the US market, will make the entire US economic status will be affected, the local enterprise market will further shrink. The economy is sluggish and the unemployment rate is falling. The most terrifying is the red letter group. No one knows what will happen if the tiger is put into the US market. He soon held a press conference and said that the United States is willing to hold talks with China on science and technology and electronic products trade to develop a more suitable strategy for bilateral trade. When the news came out, the relevant departments in China were so happy that they could not let the guns celebrate. In the trade friction of the last 2 years, this is the first time that the US has taken the initiative to soften and lowered the gesture request and the peace talks in China. The US Secretary of Commerce will visit China next week. Our counterattack finally made them feel scared. Huaxia's big men are also negotiating how to bargain with the Americans. The trade talks between the two countries were held as scheduled. The details were not known to everyone. However, from the photos taken by the journalists, the US Secretary of Commerce was full of faces, and when he left, he was even more upset. The results of the trade talks were quickly announced to the whole world, and the whole world was shocked. The US side said, reducing the relevant tax rate of China's imported electronic products to a suitable range, reinvestigating Huaxia Communications enterprises such as Huaxia Hongxin, Huawei and Zhongxin to see if they meet the relevant US regulations. Improve the knowledge licensing fees for Chinese companies, and welcome Chinese companies to enter the US market. The two countries will develop together. There is a whole lot of news. In general, the Americans completely overturned the previous decision. The US market will be more tolerant to Chinese companies in the future, and in a short period of time, specially welcome China's high science and technology industry will enter. The Chinese may have promised some conditions, such as considering importing US agricultural products, exporting some important rare earth resources to the United States, and so on. It also gave the US a step. On the surface, the two sides took a step back on the short-term trade friction, but everyone who knows it well knows that this time it is the American blood loss. Trade sanctions have been abandoned, but the Chinese companies have easily entered the US market, and even the work of previous presidents has been ruined. In China, it is almost a celebration. All the big media are reporting this good news, and the industry is cheering. In a program group of the communications industry, Mr. Cheese Hijao, the president of the company, directly spoke to Liu Zixin, saying, "The Americans have compromised, not only reduced taxes, but also contacted us and us telecom operators restrictions. This is thanks to the red letter. Thank you for your contribution to the communications industry." Rice Company Tianxiangshan, red letter is a great hero. Xiao Lu, I have the opportunity to invite you to dinner. Huaxia Telecom President, the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology will award the red letter this time. Congratulations on this ups and downs, Liu Zixin hurriedly said. Don't dare to do this. This is not the credit of our red letter. It is the result of the joint efforts of all Chinese enterprises and the state departments. The CEO of OP said, this is of course, but everyone knows that if there is no red letters operational virtual projection technology, the Americans will not change their strategy in the next few years. It's amazing. The news in the Liu Zixin group has not been answered yet, and the company has more news. The assistant said, a lot of companies have sent us a congratulatory message and thanked the red letter. Tang Gang's look came to the office with excitement. The mayor of Pengcheng personally called the phone to thank us. He said Pengcheng wanted to hold a special science and technology summit. He gathered some Chinese companies that are beneficial to the development of the North American market. Let local companies go out and let our company take the core. Suzhirong also came and said, now there are more than 18 multinational companies in the United States who congratulate us, and the cooperation letter of intent is one by one, and the office phone is bursting. End of this chapter. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 334. 334 Chapter LG Panic. Chapter 334 Chapter LG Panic. Luzixin reluctantly said, "I have a lot of things here," he spoke and the phone rang again. It was not a simple character to have his private number. "It seems that we have to work overtime this month," Tang Gang said with a smile, although knowing that the next task will be heavy, but cannot stop him happy. "I can finally enter the North American market." Suzhirong was a little excited, and Red Letter worked hard for more than a year and finally got the best time. On the internet, a report analyzing the US trade strategy has analyzed the beginning and end of Sino-US trade friction. And commented, "This is the first time, the US initiative to make big concessions. The reason for this is because the science and technology companies in China have told the development that the US has to let go of the national trade market. Red Letter's artificial intelligence technology, chip manufacturing, Sky Network, operable virtual projection. Finally, one day, we also have a high science and technology enterprise that affects the world economy in China." When this report came out, it was reposted and madly forwarded, and everyone was proud of it. "Mighty, let the Americans feel the power of science and technology from the East. Love Red Letter. I hope Red Letter is getting better and better. Huaxia's economy must rise in all numbers. Make the American money back, come on." Emoticon, applause. "I really want to go to the door of the Red Letter Group to give fireworks. There are Apples in the United States, Samsung in Korea, and we have a Red Letter." The reputation of the Red Letter Group has once again risen to a new level. Many older generations who did not care about mobile phone brands also knew about Hongxin Company in word of mouth and decided to change the products of Hongxin Company. During this period, various intelligent products of Hongxin actually ushered in a small peak, and sales rose sharply, comparable to new products. The Sino-US trade friction also entered a short period of peace because of this peace talks. But both sides know that this is only temporary, and the more intense friction is still behind. When the Huaxia enterprise entered the US market, a new economic storm is coming. This storm will change the pattern of the world economy. Everyone is cautiously prepared, and major companies are looking for opportunities to preserve their own ways or break through. Every day, new news is coming. Today's news: Hua has announced that he has resubmitted his application to the US Federal Communications Commission and will restart cooperation with US telecom operations. In a few days, Zhongxing Group announced, in conjunction with the US investigation of Zhongxing, to regulate commercial behavior in the United States, the ban will be lifted. SMIC has news that it is working with US chip giants to develop new smart chips. Even the Red Letter Group announced several big news and is preparing to enter the US market plan. At the same time, Red Letter will launch a new small satellite communication satellite, which is distributed throughout the United States 6G communication network, and the operation qualification will be sub-band licensed to US telecom operators. Every message has a big impact. Other groups have been eager to enter the US market and adjust their corporate strategy. And the Red Letter is still waiting. Since it is going to enter the North American market, Red Letter will certainly have to become famous. Therefore, the Red Letter Group decided to hold the global launch of Red Letter Smart products in the middle of next month. Its focus is not only to stabilize the existing market, but also to open the North American market. At the global press conference, Red Letter will release 3 new smart products, and users around the world will wait and see. In China, users are naturally looking forward to it, and even many fans directly claim that as long as the Red Letter comes out of new products, definitely support. But this time the battlefield of Red Letter is in the North American market. In the domestic mobile phone market, Red Letter is already top-notch. The big players in the North American market are really doing their best. The North American market is the world's largest smartphone sales market. They have been defeated by the Hang Seng Group in the China market. If they lose in the North American market, the mobile industry landscape will change completely. In the current North American smartphone market, Apple and Samsung are comparable. From time to time, you are higher than me. I am over you, each occupying about 30% of the market share. Ranked third is another major science and technology company in Korea, LG Group, which accounts for about 15% of the market. The fourth one is China's public interest. When other companies in China received restrictions, they developed well in the United States. I have just encountered a huge crisis, and I have encountered policy changes, and I am lucky. Other brands don't have to mention it, and how can they exceed them with the strength of red letter? In the near future, Huahua and other Chinese companies are also entering the US market, and they are also deliberately rushing to the front, and want to hurry in front of the red letter, to enter the market to grab market share. For the letter that red letter wants to enter the US market, the pressure on Zhongxin Communication is not too great, at least they are better than 7 years before they were banned. Anyway, their products are not on the high-end route, and there is no positive conflict with red letter. Apple, Samsung, and LG are miserable. These three companies are almost overtime and overtime discussions. How to curb the red letter and slam the red letter in the North American market. Korea, Seoul, there is a super multinational company. In the top 5 LG Group in Korea, LG Group enjoys a global reputation in the three fields of electronics and information communication, home appliances, and chemistry. LG Group and Samsung Group have intersected in many fields, and in some areas, LG is even better than Samsung. At this moment, the LG Group's headquarters building, the high-level executives are engaged in a fierce discussion to discuss how LG Group faces the competitive pressure from the Red Letter Group. Zhang Maomin, the current president of LG Group, has been a senior executive in LG Group for more than 20 years. It has witnessed the development of an era, and LG Group is also in his hands, becoming a multinational super-large enterprise, which is a celebrity in the world of science and technology and the economic circle. The Red Letter Group will enter the North American market next month. There is no doubt that they will bring products with no screen and high intelligence. This is the most positive collision for us. Zhang Maomin sat at the conference table chief. The hair is half white and the look is a little tired. Since several statements by the Red Letter Group, LG's stock has been falling. In particular, the operational virtual projection technology appears, and when the sound of the physical screen is widely present, they are more affected. Screen manufacturing has always been a major business of LG Group. If screen manufacturing technology is eliminated by virtual projection, it is equivalent to cutting off one arm of LG. Now, Red Letter has broken through the blockade of the US market and will compete with them for the North American smartphone market. Samsung and Apple have good strengths, and they may still be able to survive. Their ranking of the third child is dangerous. If you are not careful, you will become a stepping stone for others. End of this chapter. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 335. 335 Chapter Surface Folding. 335 Chapter Surface Folding. Red Letter's smart products are undoubtedly very good in performance, but our price is lower. If we launch some special promotions, we should be able to stabilize the market, the senior executive in charge of marketing said. Price competition is a must, but we still need more means. Zhang Maomin tapped his finger on the table. I believe that everyone in the room has already learned about Red Letter in detail. Their products can be described as Huaxia, the most expensive brand, but the market share can continue to improve. Their advantage is that technology is leading, and price competition has limited impact on them. We also have to use technology to compete with them. After Zhang Maomin finished, everyone was meditation. Technical competition? Now everyone knows that red-letter smartphones are almost one of the best products in the world. Even Apple and Samsung are inferior. President, I have an idea, a senior executive said. Zhang Maomin looked at him. This is the general manager of LG Group North America, Park Ji-ho, one of the core members of the group, with a unique vision and outstanding ability. The LG Group can develop vigorously in the North American market and cannot do without his wisdom. Park Ji-ho continued, since the Red Letter Group is ready to introduce smart products that can be virtual projections for the North American market, some of the leading technologies that our group already has do not need to be hidden. Get them out directly, release new phones, maintain a relatively low price, and compete for the market with high-cost performance. What do you mean? Someone thought of something. Yes, I am talking about the new generation of old, flexible screen technology that we have developed, Park Ji-ho said. He waved his hand, and the assistant next to him immediately showed the relevant materials through the virtual projection equipment bought from China. A new generation of old technology that can produce ultra-thin, self-contained, flexible plastic film displays. The flexible display discards the glass material, and the special new plastic material makes the display panel bendable and not easy to break, making it suitable for a variety of smart wearable devices. This technology LG Group has always been at the leading level in the world. The curved screens of many products are provided by their group, such as TV, computer, etc. They also launched curved screen smartphones. However, the previously introduced curved screen mobile phone, although the screen is curved, but the user cannot change the shape of the screen at will, subject to various restrictions, cannot be folded. After further development by LG Group, they already have a foldable flexible screen that allows users to fold the display in small increments. For example, if the smart device is folded and put in a pocket, or worn entirely in the hands of a bracelet, it is more user-friendly. This technology has only just been developed, and it needs to be tested and improved. It will take at least half a year to launch, someone said. Can't wait, any product can't be perfect, Park Ji-ho said. No one knows what the market will become after half a year, or virtual projection phones will be popular at that time. Our screen technology value will be great discount. It is better to sell new products directly and seize the market. We will not necessarily be overtaken by Red Letter, and may even grab the cakes of Samsung and Apple. Park Ji-ho said that because of the entry of Red Letter, we can no longer predict the changes in the smart product market after half a year. In contrast, it is a wise choice to release new technology competition in advance. Zhang Maomin also agreed with Park Ji-ho. They also talked for a long time, based on the actual situation analysis, and finally passed this resolution. Therefore, under the competitive pressure of the Red Letter Group, LG Group had to announce that it would launch a new curved folding smartphone. So, before the global launch of the Red Letter Group, LG Group held a global launch of a new generation of smartphones. Flexible screen, foldable, ultra-thin, convenient. These advantages have attracted the attention of the majority of users. In the market, there are quite a few mobile phones with flexible screens, but most of them are also speculating as a curved screen. After the real experience, most users feel that way. And this time LG introduced a curved folding smartphone. The mobile phone display screen can be changed any shape, even folded into thick paper, curved into a curved bracelet, worn on the hands, legs. Not to mention foreign users, that is, Chinese users are envious and want to experience such products. It is a pity that LG smartphones have already withdrawn from the Chinese market a few years ago, and other smart products are still sold in the Chinese market. After the launch of LG's curved folding smartphone, it immediately caused a wave of enthusiasm in the North American market. Many users who are pursuing fashion or novelty have purchased this new mobile phone. LG's smartphone sales have risen sharply in a short period of time, and even faintly emerged from the third. Therefore, Samsung Group soon announced that it will launch a new mobile phone with curved folding technology this year. Apple is even simpler. Their current display is the display of LG Group, which is directly related to LG technology is used in the next generation of Apple phones. Some domestic manufacturers have also kept up, saying that they want to release the same mobile phone. Some mobile phone powders even purchased this novel curved folding smartphone through overseas purchasing and other means. Under the official public number of the red letter mobile phone and Weibo, there is also a red powder message. LG has a folding mobile phone out of the surface. When will the red letter come out? What is the new phone? Can you disclose it? How was this conference held in New York? I am still going to see it. The money is good, just wait for new products to be released. The new product launch of Red Letter was held at a Science and Technology Convention Center in New York. This is in line with the choice of Red Letter to enter the North American market, and domestic viewers can also watch it in real time. Luzixin came to New York before the press conference began. Here, Hongxin Group will set up Red Letter Group's headquarters, representing the march of Huaxia Red Letter to Hongxin International. On the streets of New York, Luzixin in a casual outfit is walking aimlessly. Originally, Su Zhirong had made an appointment with him. As a result, she took a call and temporarily talked with the US telecommunications operator, so Luzixin was put in the pigeons. Octopus, can I call you Lu Yan? Calling Octopus while playing, I feel like I am at work in front of him. A beautiful blonde girl turned her head and asked. She is tall and wearing a sexy black suspender dress, revealing a proud gully and two natural slender white legs. This is Fanny. New York is her hometown, and Su Zhirong is also preparing to ask her to be a guide to take two people to play in New York. After sitting all day, I wrote a chapter. It's really big. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 336. 336 Chapter 336 Boycotts the Parade. Chapter 336 Boycotts the Parade. Yes, Luzixin shrugged and said easily. Before he suspected that Fanny's work at the Hongxin Group was unclear, it was an investigation. Over the past 6 months, I have not found anything particularly suspicious. In addition to Fanny's flight, I was not exposed to other parts of the Red Letter Group, so Luzixin temporarily put down the previous guess. Lu Yan, it's much easier to call it. Fanny showed a generous smile, and her teeth and face were full of the confident charm of the blonde. She took Luzixin to visit several famous attractions in New York. All the way, various photos, shopping. Luzixin suspected that she was traveling, and she was accompanying herself. Wall Street, a street in the southern part of Manhattan that extends from Broadway to the East River, is 1/3 of a mile long and 11 meters wide. It is a world-famous financial center, and the headquarters are on the Nasdaq, the American Stock Exchange, and the New York Futures Exchange. Luzixin and Fanny walked through the crowded streets, and Fanny pointed to the tall building next to him with a smile. Lu Yan, if the people here know your identity, maybe they will jump upstairs to talk to you. Desperate. Because of a Red Letter Group, how many capitalists' property has shrunk dramatically? It is said that there are hired killers on the dark network to kill Luzixin. Unfortunately, Luzixin has not seen it until now. Then you dare to walk with me, not afraid of being accidentally injured? Luzixin asked. I am not afraid. I followed the captain to learn Chinese Kung Fu. Fanny imitated Bruce Lee's action and shouted, I am playing. Flower Fist's embroidered legs. Luzixin was amused by her. The two continued to play, and after leaving Wall Street, they came to a street and were facing a parade. Bustling, dressed up, people of all skin colors gathered together, waving flags, banners, and shouting while marching. Luzixin has never seen a real parade in China, so I look at it curiously. I saw the front of the parade, a mobile tank model made of paper shells, and several people wearing the mobile tank model. The reason why it is called a mobile phone tank is because the appearance of this large paper case is a mobile phone, and the muzzle of the tank is painted on the mobile phone. What surprised Luzixin most was how this mobile phone tank looks like a red-letter smartphone. "What is this doing?" Luzixin asked in surprise. This, Fanny's emoticon was so wonderful that she was surprised, and she was a little embarrassed. "This is a boycott of the parade." Fanny's voice suddenly became small, and it was so noisy that Luzixin didn't understand it. Luzixin simply activated the automatic translation function of smart glasses, and the words and shouts were translated into Chinese to convey to him. Now he knows why Fanny's emoticon is so wonderful, because the front banner reads, "Resist the invasion of Chinese products, let the Chinese mobile phone roll out of the United States." Moreover, under the shell of the paper shell tank, the logo of the red-letter mobile phone is also drawn, and the red-letter mobile phone is specially drawn into a tank, which is probably the way in which they use the red-letter product to invade. In front of him, a black man waved his hand and shouted, "Huaxia smart products earned our money and took away our job opportunities, resist China's smart products and boycott red-letter mobile phones." There are still many similar people. Fanny quickly looked at Luzixin and observed his emoticon. Fortunately, Luzixin did not reveal the angry emoticon, but instead showed a playful smile, and Fanny relaxed a little. She was afraid that Luzixin was suddenly angry and had troubles here. Luzixin was also surprised by herself. "I didn't expect to encounter a parade that boycotted my company when I was playing in New York. He is very curious. How can these people have a tacit agreement to boycott the red letter?" And it was the time when Red Letter's New York conference was about to be held. The parade gradually approached two people, and there were police officers in the order to maintain order. Some passing people curiously watched their shouts, slogans, and people take pictures and so on. "Hee, a group of Penn's tourists next to Huaxia whispered taunted. "I actually march here, I want to take it back." Someone took these scenes and prepared to send them back to China. "Luo Yan, this is just a small number of people," Fanny explained to Luzixin. "In fact, most people are not biased against you and many people like red-letter products." Luzixin smiled and said, "I am not surprised at all. Many people have lost their water purses. I don't think they would protest if they don't protest." "Are you not angry?" Fanny looked at him curiously. She didn't understand what the man was thinking. If she saw that her company was being boycotted, she would be very angry. "Why should I be angry?" Luzixin asked. "Their parade is just to help our company to publicize. Maybe we didn't know our company before. Go back and check it, and understand. Moreover, our red letter has always been speaking by strength. Their resistance is meaningless. But I am very curious. Our products have not yet started selling. Some people have advocated boycotts. Who is so boring?" After he finished, Fanny suddenly said, "I saw a friend, maybe I can help you." Said, Fanny screamed at the parade, "Isaac, Isaac." I saw a tall white man who heard the voice go back and saw Fanny, and suddenly his eyes were beaming, and he was proudly said, "Oh, my God, Fanny, are you?" The white man originally also held a sign protecting personal privacy and rejecting Chinese mobile phones. At this time, he directly threw the brand to other people and left the parade to find Fanny. Isaac is a tall 1.8 m, burly, eagle hook nose. He excitedly, and Fanny came to a hug, said, "Fanny, I can't think of seeing you here. It must be the goddess of luck to hear my prayers. Are you not in China?" Fanny smiled and said, "I am in New York this time." "Great, please have a drink at night," Isaac invited. Fanny looked at Luzixin next to him and euphemistically said, "Sorry, I still have something today." "Who are you?" Isaac watched Luzixin. Luzixin saw hostility from his emoticon, as if he had seen a rival. "This is my friend, Lu Yan." Fanny briefly introduced it and asked, "Isaac, how are you in the parade? Why are you going to march?" Referring to this, Isaac immediately said with excitement, "Of course it is because of the damn new policy." End of this chapter. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 337. 337 Chapter 337 is crowned. Chapter 337 is crowned. Do you know, the White House actually reduced the import tariffs on Chinese consumer electronics, and it also allowed several communications companies suspected of information security to operate in the United States. The most important thing is that the Red Letter Group of China has also entered the US market. It is a group of idiot politicians. Isaac's gnashing teeth. Luzixin didn't talk, but Fanny didn't explain. Does this have anything to do with you? Huaxia's products are operated in the United States, and they abide by the laws of the United States. Is there no need to march against it? No, you don't understand, Isaac continued. Do you know, I work at a securities company. I have made some money in recent years. Just because of this policy, let the entire US science and technology unit, the stock has plummeted, and the money I made has all been lost in one fell swoop. If we wait for the Hang Seng Group to further encroach on our country's market, our interests will suffer even greater losses. Our money must be earned by Huaxia Enterprises, must resist. After Fanny finished listening, she probably understood that she did not sympathize with Isaac, but she was somewhat disdainful. If you play stocks, you should be prepared to lose money, not to mention normal business competition. If you are afraid of failure, you will resist it. It is better to think about how to make your product better. Luzixin asked in a less skilled English, are you useful in this parade? Isaac glanced at him and didn't want to answer his question, but given Fanny's side, he explained it to give Fanny a good impression. Of course useful. We launched a boycott on the internet. There have been more than 100,000 signatures, saying that we will never buy Huaxia, that is, the products of Red Letter. When he mentioned China, he suddenly remembered that it was also the Chinese people changed their mouth slightly. What he didn't know was that this person was still at the helm of the Red Letter Group. Our parade is also called online. You see, there are now an estimated 1,000 people to participate. Everyone has the same idea. And we are also prepared to wait for Red Letter to hold a press conference in New York. We have to protest and boycott. Let everyone know that Red Letter Group is a company that infringes on personal privacy, and let everyone boycott. Luzixin said, but is the FCC not clarified? The Red Letter Group's products do not have security vulnerability. There must be an insider inside. Isaac insisted on his own thoughts. We want the government to see and reinvestigate the Red Letter, in the most serious way. Childish. Luzixin spit out two words. After talking for a long time, this guy was reduced because of his own interests, so he participated in the game protest, and it is estimated that the other people in it are similar. There may be passers-by actors who collect money to help the parade. If you don't take back what you just said, I think many people here are willing to give you a lesson, Isaac said coldly. Isaac, what are you doing? Lu Yan is my friend, Finney spoused. Isaac unwillingly glanced at Luzixin and emphasized, you are lucky. He said to Fanny again, Fanny, are you free tomorrow? I bought a new house in Queens, the kind with the pool. Maybe I can invite friends to host a welcome party for you. However, this time, he was still rejected by Fanny. Isaac felt that she had lost her face and her attitude was not so good. She said, Fanny, I am your friend. We have known each other for a few years. It is American. What is good for this Chinese? Isaac, you are too disrespectful of people. I don't want to say a word to you. Goodbye, Fanny said coldly. By the way, pull Luzixin's hand and leave Isaac's side. Baichi, Isaac whispered, then entered the parade and shouted. Sorry, Lu Yan, I don't know, his attitude is so bad. Fanny was still apologizing for the previous incident and said, actually, I am not familiar with Isaac. He is my classmate at New York University. I haven't contacted for a long time. It doesn't matter, he still doesn't deserve my anger, Luzixin said. Hey, Fanny sighed and said, they are too irrational. The Red Letter has not done anything wrong. They will resist. I believe most people will not agree with their approach. Do not worry, our red letter will prove its strength, some jump clowns, cannot affect anything. Luzixon instead comforted her. He opened the subject and asked, Fanny, are you born in New York, why didn't you see you coming home? Referring to this, Fanny's mood is even lower, saying, my family is in the Bronx, and there are no relatives and friends at home, so I am living alone. According to Luzixon's previous investigation, Fanny's father entered the prison because of drug abuse in the early years, and there should be another mother. Her current statement should still have some hidden feelings. The Bronx, a slum in New York, has relatively poor security management. Fanny didn't go back to Luzixon and didn't ask, said, is it tired today, I invite you to dinner, do you have any place to go? Really, Fanny was proudly said. Today I can marry the boss's meal, I'm so lucky. After spending a day with Fanny and returning to the hotel, Luzixon also specially investigated the boycott of the parade during the day. Similar to Isaac's, on the US network, some people launched a campaign to boycott Chinese electronic products, especially the products of the Hongxin Group. Many people participated in the registration. Today's parade is only one of them. They are also preparing to hold a larger boycott on the day of the Red Letter Development Conference. It is expected that thousands of people will participate. You have to be prepared, contact the local police, security, especially to do well. The conference cannot be any trouble, Luzixon confessed to the subordinates. Yes, Octopus, this time we are ill-considered, we will start preparing soon. Luzixon is not afraid of the New York police. The red letter enters the US market, but the US government has actively revised the policy to put it in. A few days later, I finally arrived at the Red Letter Group's new product launch. Location: the Science and Technology Convention Center in New York, USA, has been released globally, and the attention of countless people has been placed here. Media and guests from all over the country have already entered the game in advance, waiting for the official launch of the Red Letter Conference in New York time. However, there are always some discordant voices. For example, on the streets not far from each other, the marching teams that resisted the red letter are marching and protesting. Many media who like to do things are also interviewing them and writing them into the news reports. End of this chapter. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 338. 338. Chapter 338 begins. The 338 chapter begins. On the street, a parade of nearly 1,000 people held a sign and shouted slogans to protest. In addition to the mobile tank model of the previous few days, they have made more hostile models, and some people directly painted on the face, or painted graffiti on the body, indicating protest against the Red Letter Group. A reporter is interviewing Isaac. Isaac's exhilarating punch: we must resolutely resist the invasion of these Chinese science and technology groups, they will plunder our wealth and let us lose jobs. Many passers-by are unclear, so look at their excitement, and some believe that it is true. In fact, most people simply don't know why. Some people even spoke in the media, saying that this kind of parade was unreasonable, naive, and stupid. Americans should not resist more advanced science and technology and products, but embrace them and face the world's competition. In the Science and Technology Convention and Exhibition Center, Suzhirong, the general manager of the Red Letter Group's North American market, is hosting the first global conference of Red Letter. She wore a red letter dress and painted a delicate look. Under the focused lights, it looks elegant and confident, and speaks in a fluent English. Under the stage, the guests are full of seats and come from all over the world. Needless to say, the Chinese people have already widened their eyes and are ready to watch the show. The guests in other places have different emotions. Some of the American guests' emoticon are serious and do not expect it. They only hope that the products of Red Letter are not too good. In the past few months, the business of the relevant US market has been shrinking, and no one wants to shrink more. Islanders, Korean guests, and journalists have similar ideas to them, as well as Britain and Germany. The audience is much simpler. They don't care about the contest between these companies. They just want to see if they have the same high-profile science and technology products, and the better, anyway, they are service users. In the corner of the venue, several Americans are whispering. They are the security guards at the venue, and they are watching the press conference. It's a boring press conference. The chick is okay, it's not very good looking, as security whispered. He said Suzhirong, with his aesthetics, I don't think Suzhirong is a beautiful woman. I heard that they spent tens of millions of dollars on this conference, and these Chinese people are too rich, the black guard next to him said. At the global launch of the Red Letter Group, more than 10,000 spectators were on the scene. In order to welcome guests, more than 25-star hotels, flights, trains, and reception teams were included. And it is said that they spend more on some important aspects of the conference. I'm so curious, can they make money back? I have never heard of Red Letter's mobile phone before. Some people say that their stuff is better than Apple and Samsung. Who knows? A guard uncle shrugged. Don't forget, there are people outside who are fortunate enough to protest that their products are rubbish. Can they make money? Anyway, we can get our own wages. It is also said that today's rewards are quite a lot. The more such a conference will be, the better, the black guard said with a smile, revealing a white tooth. Red Letter has made a lot of noise in the media. Now, on many video, news, social and live websites in the United States, you can see the global launch of Red Letter. On a social media, the first is an advertisement for the Red Letter press conference. Huaxia Red Letters Conference, Operational Virtual Projection, these terms have attracted some users to click to watch. As in China, there are also a variety of comments that can be posted here, as well as a barrage. On the barrage, someone brushed, resist Red Letter, support Apple. Garbage China mobile phone, roll out of the United States. Is there really an operational virtual projection phone? I think everyone should be sensible. I heard that the products of Red Letter are really very good. Red Letter mobile phone is more expensive than Apple, never buy it. LG's curved folding phone is the trend. The number of viewers is not too large. If it is the launch conference of Apple mobile phones, it is estimated that the number of viewers will reach more than 10 times. In the North American market, Red Letter is still lacking in popularity. After thanking all parties for their support and presence, Suzhirong said, a few months ago, we have developed an operational virtual projection technology that has been controversial. Many people speculate that this is a technology that can only be used in the laboratory, but I want to tell you a good news, the guess is completely wrong today. We can not only use it in the latest science and technology in the product, and it will completely change our lives. The audience gave a warm applause. Everyone was full of expectations, waiting for the emergence of new products. However, Suzhirong just smiled and said, before introducing the new product, I would like to introduce a friend who was born just a month ago. Today is the day of her full moon. Welcome to this virtual world, friends, Miss Hung Ham. Her voice fell, and she saw a colorful vortex of light and shadow behind her. Fans of Red Letter are no strangers to this. This is the second dimension of the Red Letter game. It symbolizes the barrier between the virtual world and the real world. And many foreigners, for the first time, see such a sight. Some people cried in amazement, Scorpio, what is this? Is this a virtual projection technology? It's amazing, it's so beautiful. It looks like I'm watching a movie, I'm a little interested. The audience at the scene talked in private, and some people were shooting with their mobile phones. Zhao, is this the virtual projection technology of Red Letter? It's amazing, I thought it was just an ordinary 3D effect, an American audience said to the Chinese student next to him. Zhao is an international student from China to China and a loyal fan of Red Letter. At the press conference, he finally got the tickets and brought a few American friends. At the beginning, These American friends were not very happy until he asked them to go to the bar to play and they agreed. I didn't expect the press conference to just begin, they were already surprised. Zhao Dai, I said, what is this, more beautiful than the light and shadow scene? Unfortunately, the break the dimensional wall virtual projection movie American theater cannot see, or else scare your chin. Is there more magic than this? Asked an American friend. Of course, Zhao said. This technology red letter has been in the first half of the year. This time they are showing an operational virtual projection, but it is still controlled by smart devices. Too much to expect. If there is such a new mobile phone, I must buy it. The first is more. Yesterday I thought about the problem. At 8 o'clock this morning, an all-nighter is only awake, and the sixth must be written. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 339. 339 Chapter 339 Virtual Man. Chapter 339 Virtual Man. On the exhibition stand, the light and shadow of the dimensional wall stopped rotating, and a jade leg stepped out from the inside. She bare feet, revealing smooth ankles, delicate toes, white skin. This is an impeccable beauty, even under the high-power lens, even the thin fluff on the legs is clearly visible, just like real. Even people who are not interested in the foot show their appreciation at this moment. In the subconscious, everyone appreciates the beautiful things. Scorpio, so beautiful jade, I think, China, a live broadcast site, the barrage was instantly smashed. This avatar is much richer than other avatars and looks like a real person. I can play this leg for 100 years. Ada, who is Hung Ham, the character in the game, why don't you come out? It's already. Hey, a bunch of perverted men. The people in the light and shadow gradually stepped out, from the legs to the body, and the face. She also has a red fire, symbolizing the long hair of enthusiasm and vitality. This is a brand new avatar. Whether it is a body model or skin color, shadows, hair, skin surface, or even the effects of clothing, cell changes are very realistic. Her body is impeccable, the proportion of gold, the chest is a perfect weapon compared to the database, people feel no less, there is a desire to grasp. As for the face type, it has undergone countless comparisons, mainly referring to the facial model made by the aesthetics of China and North America, which is suitable for most people's aesthetics. As soon as she appeared, she immediately attracted the attention of the whole male and most women, and focused her attention on her. Appreciation of men, envy of women. This is the first time that they have a feeling of admiration and envy for the avatar, because the light and shadow of this avatar is too realistic, and from any angle, she feels that she is a real person, not a false light and shadow effect. For this conference, the Red Letter Group spent tens of millions on the layout of the light and shadow equipment. This avatar has a shallow smile, and the small dimples appear faintly, and the eyes are slightly picked up, which makes people feel uncomfortable. She bent slightly and greeted the audience at the scene. Hello everyone, I am the avatar spokesperson of Hungxing Group, Hung Ham. I am a virtual person completely designed by Red Letter Group with cloud technology and virtual projection technology. I have my own independent data center and computing rules. Everyone can treat me as a friend. I am very happy to meet everyone. Her voice is very good, and she is proficient in the language of each country. She first said it in Mandarin and then said it again in English. Red Dragonfly, Virtual Man, have their own data and algorithms. Isn't that artificial intelligence? Under the field, there is a big surprise in the world of science and technology. It can only be said to be low-level intelligence. I think she is a virtual idol. Well, compared to the virtual idols before, the red letter design is indeed more detailed. I have not found any defects yet. The white-bearded old man said that he is a top AI engineer from Google. This light and shadow effect, I have to admit, great, the guests from the Samsung group felt in their hearts. Too beautiful, God, I am in love, in the venue, Zhao's American classmates exclaimed excitedly. It's very exciting to think about a girl with a second U, and it's exciting to think about it, a guy is even more excited and excited. Zhao, this is a virtual character, that is, we can also have it. How can we have her? Asked a white man of 200 pounds. Zhao shook his head and said, I don't know, but this red dragonfly is so beautiful. I used to like the Xiao in Three Kingdoms, I didn't expect this virtual character to be more perfect. Domestically, the audience was also surprised by the red dragonfly. The beautiful little elder sister is much better than what the first sound is. This style is completely different. The details of the red dragonfly are 10,000 times better than that of the projection, just like a real person. I am finished, mother, I want to fall in love. Shut up, Hung Hom is mine, don't rob me. Her voice and red letter mobile voice assistant seems to be, is it the previous red cloud assistant? Foreign audiences are also shouting screens, Scorpio, is this really just a projection, really like a real person? Wow, she shook hands with the host, Scorpio, she must be a real person. On the stage, Suzhirong is shaking hands with Hung Hom, and some of Hung Hom's reactions are no different from real people. This is actually only a partial effect of the touchable virtual projection technology. Just a handshake action, the computer performs hundreds of millions of calculations to process the motion response, projection effect, positioning, and so on. I want to ask, can this girl kiss? Huaxia science and technology has developed to this point, see you for the first time. It's getting more and more interesting. I found this release to be more interesting than the Apple conference. Suzhirong is still interacting with Hung Hom, and Hung Hom is fully demonstrating this new avatar in both language, emoticon, and action. No wonder so many men like the second meta creature. I like her. At the press conference, Shui Yao was also there. The emergence of Hung Hom is actually a project proposed by Red Letter Virtual Entertainment. Since virtual projection technology should be popularized, it is better to take the opportunity to make a virtual image. As the avatar spokesperson of Red Letter, if she can get the audience to like it, the Red Letter Virtual Entertainment will also package her as a virtual idol and officially debut. Make your own albums, dances, open concerts, and more. After the Red Dragonfly appeared, he stayed on the stage and sang with Suzhirong, like a guest performer. Today's home is not a red dragonfly, she is just an avatar spokesperson, the first time in front of the audience in the world. Today's home is a new generation of intelligent products of Red Letter. Suzhirong began to step into the topic, introducing the first generation of HXV-1 Red Letter virtual projection smartphone. In her hand, a new design phone appeared. The exquisite alloy casing reflects a hint of metallic luster under the light and shadow, like an elegant gentleman. The screen is as clean as a mirror, and the design is as refined as ever. However, this does not satisfy the audience. The mobile phone is so big, the appearance is played by the manufacturers, and it is difficult to give them a fresh feeling. Compared to this, LG's curved folding phones give them a new sense of novelty. Suzhirong introduced a series of parameters, compared to the previous generation of Red Letter smartphones, but everyone is not excited, waiting patiently. Because they know that the biggest feature of this phone has not been introduced. End of this chapter. The Black Technology Chat Group of the 10,000 Realms. Author, Huo Dong. Chapter 340. 340 Chapter 340 Changes Living People. Chapter 340 Changes Living People. The next step is the HXV-1 is the most different from other phones. Suzhirong raised his hand and showed the phone to everyone. Don't look at the thickness of this phone body and other phones, but inside, we equipped with the latest miniature virtual projection elements and light sensing elements. With these two components, the user can turn on the projection function of the phone and operate it. Say, Suzhirong turned this feature on. The screen of the mobile phone is shimmering, and the projection device hidden under the screen transmits the light and shadow to the air through the projection hole. In front of Suzhirong, a virtual screen appeared on the screen, which is the operation interface of the mobile phone. Pa pa pa, the audience can't wait to applaud. This technique alone will make them excited and curious. A palm-sized phone can be virtual projected. This means that as long as the smart device with the projection element can achieve this function, it really can be projected. So handsome, some viewers could not help but applaud. After thinking about it, you can project it by lifting your mobile phone. The projected area can exceed the screen size of your mobile phone. Even if you use your mobile phone as a TV, the experience must be great. And virtual projection means that you can watch virtual projection movies and play virtual projection games with your mobile phone in the future. They no longer need to queue up to buy tickets or buy expensive equipment. Zhao, you are right, Huaxia's mobile phone is really cool than Apple and Samsung mobile phones. Zhao's American friends widened their eyes, and they absolutely did not expect that a mobile phone can achieve such a function. There is really, it's great, Zhao said immediately. I don't expect it, I have been waiting for so long. Virtual projection can change the range when the field of view is wide enough and the phone is fully charged. Its area can be bigger than you think. Suzhirong puts the phone on the desktop of the exhibition. Now let me and Hung Hom perform a little magic. The name of this magic is called a big change. This is a famous magic in the magic world, but I am not a magician. The way I want to perform today is not a trick, but with our HXV-1 phone. Suzhirong suddenly had a red cloth in his hand, which was the curtain used by the magic show. Everyone was surprised to find that this is not a real cloth, but a projection. Using the light and shadow effect, it actually covers the scene after the projection. Suzhirong pretends to hold a red cloth in front of the red cloud, and the red dragonfly will disappear. Everyone feels not surprised, because Hung Hom is a virtual character. She will disappear when she turns off the projection. Suzhirong smashed the red cloth, and the red cloth disappeared instantly. All the virtual projections disappeared except for the mobile phone. She said, now the entire venue, except for this mobile phone, other virtual projection effects have disappeared. Red, come out. Suzhirong made an invitation to see the projection of the phone suddenly magnified 10 times and became stereo. The icons of those apps have all become a variety of three-dimensional scenes, such as balloons, bubbles, floating crystals, etc., beautiful and dreamy. There is an app called Virtual Assistant. The icon is exactly the appearance of the rotating dimension wall. The red dragonfly walks out from the inside with a small ankle. She just started to have the size of a palm, and when she stepped out, she became the size of a human girl. This is a virtual girl who came out of the phone. The real show is in front of people. This is the function of the phone. Hung Hom, thank you for playing with me and giving you a small gift, Suzhirong said, touching the projection of one of the mobile apps by hand. It is a shopping software app. Everyone showed a surprised look. It seems to be just a touch. But the meaning is completely different. The projection of the red letter mobile phone can also be operated. The promotion is not faked. Suzhirong rummaged through the shopping software and picked out a beautiful purple skirt. He said to the red dragonfly, this one is for you. A beautiful dress, thank you soldier sister, Hung Hom said happily. She took the skirt, stroked on the body, and then a beautiful rotation, the skirt changed to the body. The original red dress turned into a purple dress. Scorpio, what did I see? Before Google's top AI engineer grew up, these small moves, the technical content behind it is amazing. Light is a mobile phone. The authenticity of the virtual projection makes me difficult to distinguish between true and false. The touch of details almost makes the light technology the ultimate, he said with amazement. It's amazing, how is this done? This technology, at the scene, Apple's President Cook also, he looked at the red dress of the purple dress, and thought of more. Does the change of clothes in the red dragonfly mean that the user can also change clothes through this technology? Even character image design, model design, used in life, entertainment, consumption, scientific research, and so on. This technology will undoubtedly change the way people live. Too terrifying. Kyoko began to regret it. She knew that Red Letter had already done this. Apple should not write to the Ministry of Commerce to change its policy. Is this all done by mobile phones? Great, this feature, some female friends are already full of stars. Using virtual projection to change the image, this is a deadly attraction for them. In this era, which woman does not love beauty? Virtual projections make image changes that allow them to do more with their appearance. You can wear clothes, make up contrasts, etc. without spending time. Some women can't wait to buy this new product. Pa 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 pa, this time, the applause in the field was even more heated. More than 10,000 spectators were impressed by this little magic. It's so handsome, Zhao and his friends shouted excitedly. If it was a concert, they would even shout loudly. Zhao, your Chinese mobile phone is too strong, I must buy it, the mobile phone projection can have so many operations. The audience all over the world are amazed, Suzhirong proudly introduced, the above scenes are all HXV-1 projection functions, we have already seen our virtual projection, you can easily adjust the projection size, light and shadow positioning, virtual operation and virtual simulation. Especially virtual simulation, you can simulate some virtual image data of the database, just like the red cloud change clothes, just enter our own virtual image, you can operate on ourselves. Or we enter these parts and put together a small toy, in the hands of Suzhirong, there are some projections of mechanical parts. With a little finger, she can move it. After a few proficiencies, these parts are assembled into one. A car. End of this chapter.